So, if you are new to the More Than Money podcast, first of all, welcome. We are incredibly glad that you have decided to listen to us or to watch this particular clip. We do something every month called the Smart Money Move. So, every month we provide some smart money moves to make for that month. And I say every month, eh, except last month. We, we messed it up. I messed it up. Let me be clear. I messed it up. I completely forgot to put together the smart money moves for April. And I wish that I had an excuse. I don't. It just slipped my mind. But I promised everyone that I would not miss the smart money moves for May. So that is what we were doing in this episode or in this particular clip. Starting with, so this is the first smart money move to make in the month of May, starting with reviewing your credit report. Now, I want to be clear. Your credit report and your credit score is not the most important thing out there. Some people elevate it to a level that it should not be elevated to. It is not the most important thing out there. It does not always reflect your financial health because it does not consider how much you have saved for retirement, what's in your 529 plan, how much you have set aside for an emergency, that 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. It does not consider those aspects of your finances. In fact, let me tell you a quick story. So we paid off our mortgage about, I believe it's about 4 years ago now. And the next month, or maybe it was the month after that, our credit score plummeted. Now, why? Why did that happen? Well, it's because that installment loan, that mortgage went off of our credit report, and that actually negatively impacted our credit score, which, by the way, your credit score is a reflection of what you see on the credit report. So that's how those two things are tied together. So it's not the most important thing. It is not always a good reflection of your financial health, but it's not unimportant. Okay. It does help to have a good credit score, especially when you're looking for, a mortgage or something like that. So I do want you to look at your credit report. Now, why? Well, I first of all want you to check to see if there's any fraudulent accounts out there. Make sure on your credit report that all of those accounts that you see are your accounts, because you can look at a credit report and find an account that's not yours. Now, maybe it was a mistake by the financial institution. Maybe it's fraud. But you need to make sure that you're regularly checking your credit report, because that's how you can find out if there's an account that's been opened under your name and under your social security number that is not yours. So be sure to check that out. I also want you to determine if your credit score is low, then I want you to determine why. Why is my credit score low? Now, it could be because maybe you just paid off your mortgage and just dropped, because that's how the credit report works, right? It reflects positively on installment loans and negatively on revolving debt. So maybe that's the reason. But usually, if the credit score drops or the credit score is low, it's because maybe you're not paying your bills on time. Maybe if there's for some reason you've been 30 days, 60 days late on your bills, or maybe your credit utilization is high, meaning that the limit that you have maybe on your credit cards, you're starting to max that out. Your credit score will be hurt if your credit utilization ratio is higher. So that means you need to pay off your debt. That's just another reason why you need to pay off that debt. Of course, it's also a generosity killer, and so we want you to get rid of that debt. But I want you to take a look at your credit report and see, are all the accounts there yours? And then if your credit score is low, why? What's going on in your credit report that's causing that number to be low? And then start taking steps toward fixing those issues. So that's my smart money move number one. It's always good to occasionally look at your credit report. Smart money move number two is to review your vacation budget and make any necessary adjustments. So we are in the month of May. Now, for many of you, when you get into the June, July, and early August months, you're going to take a vacation. This is the time of the year when you take a vacation. But costs have dramatically changed, maybe since the last time you put together your vacation budget. So what I want you to do is I want you to go through all of the expenses that you anticipate incurring during that vacation and see, hey, are we still on track with this? So with our food cost, when we anticipated how much we were going to spend on our food, are the numbers still there? Does it still make sense? Food costs have gone up. So does it still make sense? Maybe we need to make some adjustment and not go out to eat every single night. Maybe we need to eat in for one of those nights if that's possible. Maybe you're staying at like some type of condo or Airbnb, and you can make food at the place. Now you can still have a great vacation and do those type of things, but maybe you need to adjust your food costs, or maybe you're looking at the car rental that you had, and you're like, man, that's actually pretty high compared to what we could get over here. And we talked about in a prior episode where you can find cheaper car rentals, right? There, we actually gave a number of options there, and you're looking at it, we can actually save some money here. So maybe you need to make an adjustment, assuming that there's no like cancellation fee, which there's not a cancellation fee a lot of time with those rental cars. If you cancel it within you give them a reasonable amount of time to make that cancellation. So maybe you need to look at your budget, your vacation budget, and just make some adjustments before you get into the summer months. Smart money move number 3. If you're not giving 10% yet, if you haven't hit that 10% mark for your generosity, I want you to consider just upping your giving by 1% for the next 60 days. So if you're not at that 10% mark, which I think is a good goal to set now, that by no means is the limit. As we look at scripture, we actually see generosity going far beyond that 10% mark. When we look at the widow who gave 2 coins, she gave everything. When we look at the Macedonians, they were given beyond their means. So the examples of generosity that we see in scripture go well beyond that 10% mark, but I believe it's a good marker to hit. So if you're not there, go ahead and strive for that 10% mark, and take just one step over the next 60 days. Take one step and up the amount that you're giving by 1%. I was meeting with a gentleman over breakfast, and he was not giving anything at this point. And he said, I just don't know if I can. So, well, let me challenge you just to give 1% and just see what happens. See what God starts doing in your heart when you take that step of faith. And so he did. We later met, and he said, you know what? I've actually started giving more. I'm saying, well, what happened? Well, he said, well, first of all, that 1% wasn't as much as I thought that it would be. It didn't impact my budget nearly as much as I thought. But more importantly, I started to get more excited about being on mission, financially participating in the Great Commission. And God started doing something in my heart, and I felt happy and glad. And I wanted to do more. That's going to happen to you. I'm confident when you lean more into God with your finances, you're going to find yourself more content, more satisfied, being a part of a God-orchestrated adventure. So I just want you to take one step just for 60 days and see what happens with your generosity. Just up it by 1% for the next 60 days. Smart money move number 4 is to read Common Sense Economics. Common Sense Economics. So something that I've noticed over, I don't know, the past year or so, actually maybe even before that, was that there's a disconnect. There's a lack of understanding with the way that our economy works, how things work. Like when you raise minimum wage, what is the result of that? And so I want you to read Common Sense Economics. It's just a good book to help you understand. If you're not familiar with economics, it's a very easy to read book. Okay, very easy to read book. And it will help you understand how things work. There's some things that are out there that are actually really, really predictable. And we had talked about it on prior episodes. And I'm not trying to make any type of political statement here or anything, but I just want you to read Common Sense Economics to help you understand why things happen and the way that they do. Economics, the study of economics, it's a science. And once again, some things are very, very predictable, and being equipped with that knowledge can just help you make better understandings, help you better understand how the world in which you live, at least the financial world, works. And so consider reading that. Once again, if you're looking at the YouTube video, I'm holding it up right now. It's just called Common Sense Economics, What Everyone Should Know About Wealth and Prosperity. It's not a Christian book, and you don't have to agree with everything that's in there. That's fine, but it's a good resource to get you going, helping you understand once again how economics actually works. So that is your fourth smart money move for the month of May. Let me review them. Number one, you're going to review your credit report. Okay. Number two, you're going to review your vacation budget. Number three, you are going to, if you're not already giving 10%, you're going to take one step in your generosity. You're going to up your generosity by just 1% over the next 60 days and just see what happens. And then finally, I want you to read Common Sense Economics. Maybe it's your summer reading book. You know, maybe that's a book that you're gonna take on your vacation. But read Common Sense Economics. I think that you will benefit from it. Once again, you don't have to agree with everything, but it's a easy to read book that explains just how things work in our economy. So there, I did it. I told you that I would make sure to knock out the smart money moves for the month of May. So that's it. We're going to take a quick break, and then we have your money questions.